and overwhelmed in your business because you're spending so much time working in the business, doing day-to-day stuff, making sure it's all ticking over, and you feel like you're trying to do everything yourself, that you just feel stretched and overwhelmed. And then you feel frustrated because you're not making the progress you wanted to be making, because you're not actually spending any time working on the business, working on the business development, on working on where is this going. Because this is how I felt when I was building my first business. So I started my first business back in 2005, and when I got started I had no idea how to build a business. So I was doing everything myself. I learned how to make a website and put this website together, which was terrible, but it got me going. I set up the Google AdWords account, I created the adverts for that, I dealt with all the customer support, and initially that was great because it was a brilliant learning experience for me to understand how to get things set up. That was great. But as the business grew, I continued to do all this stuff, and I found myself in a situation where I just felt so overwhelmed with it all. It got such a mess and I felt like I was stuck in a jungle. I could not see the wood for the trees, and it was really frustrating. I feel like I was holding the business back because it couldn't grow beyond me because I was stuck in the middle of it all. And then I came across a book called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, and it changed everything. If you haven't read that book, you need to read it. So Michael Gerber talks about how a lot of business owners are just doing it, and they're just working in the business, just doing the business operation side rather than working on the business. And I think an example he uses of somebody who owns a bakery, and she's working in the bakery doing all the baking rather than working on the business, on how it can all grow and develop. And this is often where people run into problems with their businesses. And he also said that successful businesses have successful systems and processes. So everything runs like clockwork, so everything is consistent and everything is really easy to kind of see what's going on. You don't feel like it's all some tangled mess. And I realised that that is where I had been going wrong. And so I decided that I was going to create systems and processes for my business. And I started off by mapping out my business. I got a blank piece of paper and I mapped out how the business operated. And in the middle of the page, I drew a circle, and that was the website, because it was an online business and really everything kind of happened around the website. So that was in the middle of the page. And then I started to draw on what were our marketing processes. So what marketing strategies did we have? So there was search engine optimization, there was Google AdWords, there was some various things that I then listed as the marketing process to get people to go to the website. And then I mapped out what was the sales process. So what happened once someone landed on our website? What was that process? And then I looked at what the process was once someone had bought from us. What was the process then? How did we follow up? I looked at what the financial process was. I looked at what the customer support process was. And once I'd finished, I had effectively mapped out the operations of our entire business. And just by doing that made me feel so much better, because all of a sudden I wasn't stuck in the middle of it all. I was looking at it all, I could see it all, and I was like, oh right, it's actually quite simple. And before that I just felt like everything was just a hazy mess in my head. So once I could see it all out there clearly on paper, I could see how I could make it better. So where could we start to create systems and processes to make things run more smoothly, to make things operate much more easily? So I thought, what is the biggest drain on my time? And for me at that moment in time, it was customer support. I was spending a lot of time dealing with customers and figuring out problems and issues. So I decided to create a manual for our support process, and it took a couple of weeks, and I thought about every single customer support issue that could arise and how to deal with it. And before I'd done this, I had never ever taken that out of my head before. I'd never taken it out of my head and created a system and a process even for myself. So there was no wonder I felt so overwhelmed with it all, because each time I got to an issue I just had to try and remember, oh, what did I do about this last time? So it wasn't really very consistent, and I wasn't making it easy on myself. So I started to look at all these issues that could arise, and I created a step-by-step guide, I created videos, I created a script, I created all these different things so that it could make it as easy as possible to follow and as simple as possible so that anyone could follow it and do a really great job with it. And then once I'd created that, I went on elance.com, which is an outsourcing website, and I posted a job to see if anyone could come and help with our customer support. So we got loads of proposals through, and I went through them all and I selected the best ones, and then I interviewed them. And then the company that I liked the most, we set up a trial period for them and we tested them out, and they were brilliant. They followed everything really, really well. And so within a couple of weeks, I found myself in a situation where I was removed from the customer support. No longer was my head in customer support issues. My head was then all about how we're going to develop this business, how can we grow this business. All of a sudden my time was completely freed up to focus on growing the business, which was amazing. I didn't feel so stuck in it anymore. And then I started to outsource other things. So we outsourced website development, search engine optimization, Google AdWords. We handed it over to experts who could do a much better job at it. And obviously you need a budget to be able to do that. And if you have a budget, then elance.com is a great place to get started to find people who can help you. And if you don't have a budget, because a lot of startups don't have budgets, and I didn't at the beginning either, it doesn't really matter. You can do everything, you can get going with things, and things are a lot easier today. Online, YouTube, there's so many guides and video how-tos, so it makes it much easier to get started on things. Just by doing the mapping out bit will help make things so much easier on you. And if you do that, then you can start to systemize it just for yourself, and that will make things so much easier. That made it so much easier for me to systemize the business and to see how it all operated. So just doing that will really help. And the other thing that I found to be really useful was setting clear intentions. So I did this with the Female Entrepreneur Association. Once I'd mapped out my business, I then started to find roles. So what roles did I need other people to fulfill, or what roles did I need to fulfill in order to make the business work as effectively as possible? So I created all these roles and really clearly defined what the role would entail. And then I either said, that's me, I do this role, or whether there was other people who'd come along which had started to help me with things, and I put their names in. And there was this one role, and I needed to find someone to fill it, to help me with this role, but I didn't have a budget for it. So I set it all out really clearly, and once I'd done that very same day I got an email from someone saying, I absolutely love what you're doing with the Female Entrepreneur Association. I do this, this and this. She did exactly what I needed in that role. And then at the end of the email she said, if you ever need help with anything whatsoever, please let me know. I really would be so happy to help you out on anything you need. And I was like, that is so weird that she turned up that very same day. And I often find that when you get really clear and you set really clear intentions, the right people will pop into your life to help you when you need them. So that is worth trying as well, getting really clear on your intentions and what you need to do and who you need to help you in order to grow your business. So all of those things have really helped me. I mean, reading the E-Myth and actually then taking action to implement what he was saying helped me to transform that business, because all of a sudden it went from being a business that was confined by me, confined by how many hours I had, how much time I had to spend on it, to creating all these systems and processes that helped it to grow exponentially. It grew so quickly after that and so rapidly. We were able to handle so much more because I was focusing on the business development side. I was focusing on building the business. And even if you have to spend time working in your business still, Michael Gerber said you should still take time out to work on your business. Even if it's a couple of hours a day or a couple of hours a week, just make the time to work on your business as well. So pull yourself out of it. Look at your map, look at your operations, look at where it's all going. Because even just by doing that can help you to just remove yourself from a situation where you're feeling a bit stuck in it. And it really helped me. So those three things, if you're feeling overwhelmed, then firstly, map out your business, map out the operations. What does your business really look like? How does it really work? What are the processes? Second thing, create systems and processes for everything you can create systems and processes for, whether you're going to then pass them on to someone else to do or whether you're going to do them yourself. Creating the systems and processes will help you to start developing a consistently great business. And then thirdly, set clear intentions. Get really clear on what you need to do. Those three things have helped me so much, and I really hope they help you too. And if you have any advice or any tips or any things that have worked great for you, then please leave a comment. I'd love to know, and I think everyone else would love to hear your advice as well. And I hope this has helped you, and I will see you next time.